Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. Your enemy, Satan, has one goal, and that's to rob, to kill, and to destroy. He wants to rob you of God's blessing and God's purpose and plan for your life. He wants to kill your relationship with God. And he wants to destroy your mind, your testimony, and everybody who you possibly could influence in your life. He wants to do major damage to all your relationships. That's Satan's plan. That's his desire. That's his goal. And he has a core strategy that he used against King David. And we're dissecting this situation of David and Bathsheba. And we're getting a lot of great understanding out of it. We've seen step 1, step 2, and now we're going to see the core strategy that Satan used against David. And he will use it against us also. So let's pay attention to this and let's remember it. God put it here for us to dissect, so that we would be aware of it and avoid the trap. Listen to 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse number 4. Then David sent messengers to get her. She came to him, and he slept with her. Now she was purifying herself from her monthly uncleanness. Then she went back home. The Good News Translation makes it as clear as crystal. It says, he made love to her. Sexual intimacy. Now, sex in itself is not evil. It's not evil. It's good. It's necessary. None of us would be here if there was no such thing as sex. It was required for reproduction. In fact, God created sex. God created the manner in which people would have intimacy together. So there's natural sexual attraction, and there's the natural sexual act. That's all natural. It's not evil. It's good. It's good. So Satan, pay attention, Satan is not using something obviously bad. He's not using something bad to try to invalidate David and to rob, kill, and destroy. He's using something God created for good. He's using something God created for good. Something that's necessary. Something that we all feel an attraction to do. We feel an attraction to do that. But God also created healthy boundaries for sexuality and for the practice of sex, for the act of sex. One man with one woman who are married for life. Very simple, right from Genesis. One man with one woman, not two men, two women, or any combination thereof. One man, one woman, married for life. So Satan's core strategy is to take what is good and desirable and even pleasurable and even necessary for life and for us, and to tempt us to practice it in a way outside of God's boundaries. Write that down. It's good. What's good, practice outside of God's boundaries. That's Satan's core strategy. Most of us are not tempted to do something that is inherently evil, but something good in a way outside of God's boundaries is Satan's temptation towards us. David lusted after and then made love to another man's wife. Not his wife, another man's wife. And that was wrong. That was a sin. That was outside of God's boundaries. And this core temptation can be seen and is played out in many different areas. Money is good. God never says that money is evil. Money is necessary. God, in fact, blesses us with money. And yet money, the accumulation of money, the use of money can be used in ways that are outside of God's boundaries, not using it as stewards and managers for God's purposes, being selfish and hoarding it for ourselves while others go poor and not caring about the poor. It becomes evil, a temptation of Satan. Our words are necessary and good. They can be used to lift people up, which is what God created our words for, communication and to lift others up. But it can be used outside of God's boundaries to cut people down. I think you got the core principle. Something good used outside of God's boundaries. That's Satan's core temptation strategy. How can we protect ourselves? Number one is to be aware of Satan's devices and schemes, and to recognize when it is happening. And tomorrow we're going to continue the chronicles of David and Bathsheba, and we will see what happens when we step outside of God's boundaries. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.